Okay, now that we've learned about arrays, let's look at some other ways that queries can get inside of documents in MongoDB. So far, all of our example documents have had strings and numbers, or arrays, for the values of embedded fields. However, documents can nest. Let's create an example document and look at that. Here I've just inserted a document with the name field Richard, that's me, and an email field whose value is a nested document, having two fields within it, work and personal, for a couple of email addresses. And there's the example document printed out a little bit more cleanly. Now, when you have a nested document, there are a couple of things that you might want to try to do to find the document based on the embedded content. One possibility would be to query for the exact match on the email field. If I key in db.users.find and give it as an argument a document with a top-level field email, whose value is an embedded document, with fields work, richard@10gen.com, and personal, kreuter@example.com, I will indeed find the document that I inserted. Note that it's important that the order of the fields in the embedded document be preserved. If I reverse them, the database will not find the document that I'm asking for. In effect, the stuff that's on the right-hand side of the colon, if it does not contain a dollar operator, a query operator in the find language, compares exactly byte by byte the contents of the two documents. If the field orders differ, then the representations of these documents in BSON will be different, and so the database will not consider the embedded values to be equal. Therefore, it's important to be consistent when you're storing data. However, the queries that I have above, which we call query by example, are somewhat limited. Perhaps I only know the work address of the user, and not the personal address. How could I query for that? Note that the following will not work. What I have now at the bottom of my terminal window is a query that will match only a document whose email field is exactly the document work:richard@10gen.com, nothing more, nothing less. And indeed, the database returns no results when I perform that query. However, MongoDB has a special syntax that allows you to reach inside the email field for a specific embedded field, regardless of what other fields might exist around the embedded field that I'm looking for. And we call this dot notation. Let me show you what that looks like. If you submit a query and specify for a field name a dotted field, such as email.work, then the query execution will take a look at documents in the users collection, looking for the email field, and then recurse into that email field, looking at the contents of the embedded document for any field called work. If that embedded field called work matches the specified string, then the document matches. And it doesn't matter whether the email field at the top level has any other embedded fields, such as the personal field. And indeed, there's my document. So the purpose of dot notation is to allow you to reach inside of nested documents, looking for a specific embedded piece of information without any knowledge of any surrounding context. It's a little bit like a fixed depth path expression into a BSON document. Okay, let's have a quiz. Suppose you had a simple e-commerce product catalog with a collection called catalog, whose documents look sort of like this. They have a product field, and a price field, and a reviews field, whose corresponding value is an array, with embedded documents as the elements of the array, and the embedded documents inside the array each have a user, a comment, and a rating. How would you write a query that finds all products in the catalog collection that cost more than 10,000 and have a rating of 5 or better? So the price should be greater than 10,000, and there should be at least one rating of 5 or greater.